Hey, what's up? And welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on beexposedradio.com. I'm having an awesome day. Two quick things, and then we're going to welcome in our guest that we have today, author Marcia Short. She'll be joining us shortly. But I had a couple things that I wanted to bring up first. I am very afraid that I'm going to become a hermit and that I'm going to exist only in my home. And I'm nervous because I've gotten and I've used like Instacart before or gotten my deliveries, groceries. But normally when I was having an event and I would have stuff sent to wherever I was having an event to, or if I was teaching a culinary class, I would have this stuff sent to the school or to the site where I was teaching. But I've gotten regular deliveries, and all I have to do is go downstairs and get them. And then the man who came yesterday, I got him delivered. This morning. I got him delivered this morning, and he gave me an idea. So now I'm going to use my IKEA bags to go downstairs, so I don't have to keep making trips. And then I'll just put them all in the bag and but don't get used to this. I'm not. One, financially, it ain't working out, but two, it just makes you lazy because I have not left out of the house in almost 2 weeks now, and that's a lot. But with that being said, two stories today. One, I'm going to talk about at the very beginning, and let me see what I sent him first. Oh, yeah. So the first story that I want to talk about is, so Will Smith and his team, they released some more footage and images of this reunion, 25th reunion that they have coming up. And it is surprisingly a photo of both of the Aunt Vivs, the first one and the second one. And I feel like if this is possible, anything in the world is possible. First, Trump lost, yay, and now we get a photo of both of the Aunt Vivs. He released it on his social media page, and we had gotten some teasers at the beginning of like midway through the summer, so where they had a sit-down conversation, and we got to see some footage of them having a conversation. But now it's even more than this, and I don't even think that's the same thing that they had on. That may be the same thing that they had on, but this means that she's going to be a part of this process in some form beyond just that little snippet of a image that we saw the two of them speaking. So I hope that we get to see the whole cast do kind of a interview and a conversation on where they now, and maybe even talk about what happened. I think their conversation, Will Smith had alluded at the time that conversation was kind of them breaking the ice and kind of healing from years of not even going back and forth, because Will Smith never said anything. It was more so the other people on the show reporting back how they felt about it, and then her going after them, and then her going back and forth for all of them. But I'm very happy to see this. So, I'm saying to people, if this beef can be squashed, I don't want to see no more beefs on social media, because this she had a tight hold to what she was saying. So the fact that Will Smith probably was the bigger person, as he should have been probably, and went through and had a conversation, and now they're mending, or we will see what the mend was once they release. And I believe it's sometime in December when that I don't know, is it like a documentary or episode? I don't know what it's really going to be. I didn't really read up on it that much, but I just saw the image and was like, yes, we're going to do this. And so shout out to Will Smith and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air team and cast for pulling a miracle off yet again. Will Smith is really turning into Mr. Social Media, and that's really outside of what he has been. But I'm really Hey, Tonia. Yes, exactly. I want to see all beef squashed, all beef squashed in this moment. But so during this pandemic, I have really gotten used to being by myself. I don't feel alone, but I have been by myself, and I've been doing things that I don't normally do, like watch TV. Um, I've been binge watching a lot of TV, a lot of Netflix, a lot of HBO Max. What's the other one I had? Stars, YouTube. YouTube. I've always had an issue with YouTube. But I've been watching more content, and there's been more interesting shows coming up. I've been seeing more representation and storytelling, and I'm loving it. So I really delved deep into it. And I've actually started a separate podcast called Binge-worthy Podcast, where I talk a lot about a lot of things that are going on in terms of how TV and film kind of mirror life, the historical value of it, impact, the social impact of it, and of course the cultural impact of TV and film on us today. And it really is a conversation between myself and my co-host, Mr. Oliver B. We talk a lot about those three elements as it pertains to TV and film. And we've done 2 episodes. Actually, 1 episode drops tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Just go to the Facebook page at Binge-worthy Podcast and you'll be able to pick that up. Or you can go to my Artist Exchange YouTube page and be able to find new episodes on that. Just put in Artist Exchange, the Artist Exchange. Don't put in the radio show because then you'll get all the episodes, which you can watch both of them. But we've dropped 2 episodes and we've had some really fiery conversations about some interesting topics that a lot of this film and TV brings up. And we've had some pretty heated conversations in the first 2 episodes. And we have a show that I'm actually going to talk about next, the Good Place. It really has been a journey with me watching because I don't get to consume this much. Normally, I'm in a theater rehearsal, directing or acting or stage managing one, so I don't really get to watch a lot because when I come home, it's sleepy time. You know, I'll put YouTube on. If I do put a movie on, it's just putting me to sleep. It's not really something that I'm investing in. But
it's so funny that you brought this up though, because I just finished watching The Good Place, the last season, because I've been watching it when it was on TV, but I
watched all 3 seasons though.
It's 4 seasons
over the weekend.
I just finished season 4.
So it's 4 seasons.
It's 4 seasons, 12 episodes.
Okay, so
per season.
I must have caught myself up then. So I watched the first 3 seasons of it, and when I say it was really good.
I like that show a lot.
Really good. If you a person that, I think people who are faith-based can watch this. It's for people who believe in a life after, who think about a life after. It's not really gory death, or it's not heavy about death as it pertains to just being a good person.
It is,
and what does it mean to be a good person, or are we being a good person just to get into a good place after we die? So it's funny. It's really good, and I think it has a great message on top of it being very funny. I only watched it for one reason. I'm not going to say what that one reason was, but I actually got into the other castmates as well. And I like Ted Danson. I always have loved him. So it really was. It was. I surprisingly, I started watching the first couple episodes, and before I realized it was the end of the day, and I had watched most of it. And then I went into the next day and watched the other seasons. But I didn't realize it was 4 seasons, so I had to go back. And now I got another season to watch. But I watched up into when they were going into the extra good place. Like after they got tired of the infiniteness of heaven, they went into like this other place. So does the 4th season talk about what the other place is?
Oh, the real good place. That's what you're talking about. The real good place, because they weren't actually in the good place in for the whole show. They were in the bad place, acting as the good place.
But then they got to the good place.
Yeah,
though.
some of I fell asleep on the last couple of episodes because it was 4:00 in the morning. But some of them then decided that they had done enough and then decided to go to the real good place.
See, I must have watched all 4 seasons then, because I didn't even realize
Yeah,
it. I
it's
thought
only 12 episodes per season, so it's real easy to get,
Yeah, and then the way it transitions, you really just go right into
it's
the next
the
one.
story continues. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love the fact that it wasn't all over the place. Like, they kept the story going.
They
It
really had
was some
cliffhangers at the
flashbacks.
end of their seasons. It wasn't real cliffhangers.
Right. And even if you went from one season to the next, it really just picked off where it left off at.
Right.
It
Because I
wasn't a
think
big
season
jump.
2 and season 3 were actually all one season, but they separated
Yeah,
it.
they separated it.
Yeah.
That's why I probably felt that way. So I must have watched all 4
Mhm.
because at the end of the season I was watching, they all one by one were finished with heaven and was going into the next.
They were going into the real good place. Yeah.
Right. So that must have been season 4. So
Yeah.
I watched all of it then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because in season 4, one by one, they all decided to go.
Yeah. So they all end up there. So I guess if there's going to be a 5th season, we're going to see what the real good place is.
I don't think there is going to be a 4th season because Veronica, I think that's her real name. Anyway, but she's going. Veronica Mars is supposed to be coming back. Her original show, the main character girl, the blonde.
Well, she did good with this one because this was really good. And Ted Danson at the end, he got to become a human, so he went to Earth.
See, I missed all of that then because I fell asleep right at the end of season 4. So don't worry, I'll catch up.
Yeah, well, I just spoiled it for you, but that's what happened. But the podcast, we talk about things like this, and this is going to be on probably like episode 5 or 6 when we do it. So check that out again on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can follow it. It's not live. We just put new episodes out. We tape them, pre-record them, and put new episodes out. And it's really interesting because me and George are 2 different people, and we get into it. We got into a heated conversation over Queen and Slim on episode 2, and we forget that other people may be listening to this. So we got into a real argument, but we have an interesting show today. Shout out to Patricia Johnson. She had a festival that she did every year for authors, and we on Be Exposed got to interview a number of the authors, and I've met some really cool people through that, and she's bringing me one more author, Miss Marcia Short, so we're going to add her to the conversation and wait on that, and then we're going to talk about her new book and who she is and all that jazz. How you doing? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, her audio is loading. So while her audio is loading, this is Miss Marcia Short. She's an author. She has a book coming up, actually. And we'll be talking a lot about the book, Him. And we'll be talking a little bit about who she is as an author and what can we expect from subsequent books. So how you doing today, Miss Marcia?
I'm doing quite well.
You're doing good. I haven't gotten my book yet, so I'm gonna just be transparent up front. I have not gotten it yet, but once I get it, I'm gonna definitely do a follow-up and a review on the book. I think mail was just
slow.
Mail. I'm tired of cussing out UPS customer service.
Don't do it.
Oh, I've already done it, so I'm not gonna do it over this. But
no, okay.
So how you doing today, Miss Marcia?
I'm wonderful today. It's been a lovely day today. I'm just excited about being on the show, and I want to thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to share on the show. Again.
So I'm sorry you couldn't come to the actual station. Normally we're at the station, but of course because of quarantine we want to remain safe. But I love rolling over, logging in, and talking to guests. That's my favorite part now.
Well, good.
But first of all, tell us a little bit about who you are, and then we'll get a little bit into the book, and then we'll go forward.
Okay, my name is Marcia Gathers, and I'm an author and inspirational speaker. I do conferences. I've written several books, but Healing Inspirational Messages is
Mhm.
my, for daily living,
Okay.
is my latest novel. Well, it's not a novel, but my latest book.
So, how many other books have you written?
I've written two other books.
Hmm. What's the process for you in terms of writing?
Well, my process is this. First of all, I seek God
Okay.
about the direction that He wants me to take. And
Hmm.
then from there, I do a little research. I like talking to people. I like one-on-one, upfront conversations with people,
Right.
intimacy, getting to know them and their feelings and what is going on with them. And so from that, I base my writings on that. I
Hmm.
like to focus on the holistic approach of healing people,
Hmm.
spiritually, physically, mentally. And I think that writing is a good venue to do that. So that's what I focus on. That's the steps I take and go from
I'm
there.
telling you, Patricia Johnson, Miss Guru of authors and such, she has brought me several authors, and I've never heard an author say that they like the actual interaction with people in terms of being part of their process. Normally, authors are like off to themselves, more so observing, and then going into their cave of writing and such. But that's the first time that I've heard that, and probably a long time that they
Mhm.
actually like to communicate.
Well, I think in communicating with people, you really get to know where they are and what the need is, and people tend to open
Hmm.
up more when you are in that intimate setting with them,
Right.
and they kind of feel more comfortable. So it has been a great way of approaching for me.
And I think it makes the self help world of books, or the inspirational world of books, either way you call it. I think it your approach will make it more authentic, because
Yes,
most times people write either from personal experiences and make it a general statement, or they have not experienced it and have not talked about people. It's just something that they've observed or saw was a hot topic. But that, in my opinion, will make your book more authentic, because you've actually had the conversations, you've had the tough part of,
yes.
of research. You actually have done the research beyond just studying it or Googling issues. In your previous books, what were the subject matter?
Well, the subject matters in my first book, I talked a lot about some tragedies that I faced in my life, and
Hmm.
the tragedy that a lot of us have experienced, some of the tragedies, and how you sometimes you want to give up, but just trusting God to get you through it, and just leaning on Him, and being real with your feelings and all, and knowing that you are not the only one that's going through it.
Hmm.
In my second book, I talked about winning over those things, over the things that has caused you to um, be standoffish or hurt, or
Hmm.
just
The
go through a
trauma.
lot of stuff, and how to apply things to your life that will get you moving forward.
Mm. Is it when you are writing from such a uh, I want to say personal, but from a real place, because you're talking to people, you've probably written a little bit of your story in it. Um, how do you decide what to put in and what to keep personal or keep private?
Well, again, I really do a lot of seeking from the Lord, and
Okay.
I try to look at it from a, not just my perspective, but I try to search the heart, search the
Hmm.
heart of people. And I find that sometimes you can't share a lot of stuff because it gets overwhelming. So you have to know what point to stop at, what point to begin, and what point to stop at.
Right.
Because if you overwhelming people and not and I think also you have to give them a solution, some kind of solution or reprieve, not just say all these tragic things or share all these things, but what is next? What do I do now? How can I get out of this? What kind of help can I get from this? And being realistic, knowing that once you be realistic, I found that in my writing it was deliverance for me, because sometimes you go through stuff and you say you realize you went through it and it's just kind of like settled there, but to actually talk it out, I think that's where your deliverance come, and that's where you can get help to move on yourself and also help people to move on.
After really after, and I want to say I've probably interviewed from Ms. Johnson's uh girth of authors, maybe over 30. I want to say over 30 of her authors. And in that period, I've met many of them, and I've kind of grew close to a couple of them. And I've started the process. I've been encouraged to kind of write my story. And I'm telling you, the hardest part is not, I don't even want to say deciding what to write about, but that real look in the mirror conversation that you have to have with yourself before putting your personal business out. And I've actually started the process of, well, I'm in the process of writing the book right now. And it was very difficult, the relationships that I spoke about, because for me, I wanted to not necessarily get their permission, but to have that conversation in terms of warning them that this may be in the book, and it's from my perspective. I'm not telling your story. I'm telling mine. But it definitely it's hard getting through that point, because then the initial confrontation, what if they tell me not to write the story, or what if they don't want that included, and how do I navigate that? Has that ever been an issue for you?
Well, one of the things I said to myself, well, I had to learn this, that everybody has an opinion. And if you start asking, should I do this, or worried about what people think, if you just go from the heart and you're how can I say this? You are committed to what you feel and what you believe. And you have to remember that is your story. Some people are going to accept it and some people are not. But if you be true to yourself and keep with the foundation that you're writing on, stick with that, and don't get discouraged, because it takes a while to do this, and some days you'll have like a burst of, okay, I'm gonna write this, I'm just going on, and then you'll have that dry spot where it's like, I can't do nothing here. What is going on here?
So that part was the basis, only because of some of the things that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
the words just wouldn't come, so I had to find a creative way to get them out.
And sometimes it's not the right time to and I found that writing smaller books, because what happens is if you write a big book, like with all of this stuff in it, sometimes people, they really want something for right then and there. And if you have this big book in front of them, it's like, okay, I started reading on Sunday and I got to page 30. Now, what did I learn? I mean, I got to go back and read, and then you look at this book, and it's just so overwhelming.
Yeah.
And another thing is that you don't want to put everything in one book, because you won't have enough to write about in your second book. If you're trying to stay on a certain wavelength or subject or whatever, if you're trying to pinpoint a specific thing, you want to write a little bit at a time, just enough to have people to come back and say, okay,
want more.
Yeah, I want a little bit more.
So you are thinking on the business side as well, and most times you don't really you don't get authors that's thinking about the business outside of just selling the book. And then I've read a lot of books where they try to put everything in with the kitchen sink. So I have a stack of books that I've been reading. and I'm about to add him to that timeline as well. And you can give me the other two titles, and I'll definitely order them.
Okay.
And it just amazes me how much we have to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Ian Van Zant, Terry McMillan, Maya Angelou. Right, I love reading those types of books that kind of tell our story and teaches us a lesson at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that a lot of authors right now are just trying to write salaciousness, but you still have a big population of authors that are just trying to get their story out. And I love people like Patricia Johnson who have given
He's
authors
so
such a
sweet.
platform to be
Oh
able
my
to
goodness.
share their work, because a lot of authors right now, because it's flooded with so much
Mm-hmm.
salaciousness, they don't often get the space and opportunity to be able to share their story. How important has it been for you to simply tell your story?
It has been very, very important for me. Like I said earlier, it has been a healing process for me and continued healing process for me and for others. I've met a lot of people, not just through writing the books, but just helping them to be able to be free,
Mm-hmm.
because we have so much inside of us that we have been carrying and carrying. And, you know, now the world is a little more open, but before,
Mm-hmm.
now, people are just carrying all this heavy weight. And so they don't even know themselves. They can't
Mm-hmm.
even help themselves before they can help somebody else. So if you give people the opportunity to talk, because people want to talk, not only talk, they want someone to listen to them,
Right.
and not, try to put them in a category with everyone else. So my motto is common folk,
Mm-hmm.
ordinary people to the world, but yet extraordinary to God. See, we are all extraordinary. And so we have to know that we are all on the same wavelength. And when people get that notion that, hey, I need to get this out, I need to, be able to talk about this, and I'm not the only one, then it makes it a little easier for people to live.
Are you a minister, or are you have
I'm a servant of the living God.
okay,
I don't go by titles, but I do minister. I've
okay,
ministered in the Baltimore City um, detention center. I do street
okay.
ministry and things like that. So I do speak. I do bring forth the word.
So writing books, was that to further amplify that message, or and get it outside of that circle of where you have been working in for the amount of years?
Yes. I love. I actually love going in the streets. I love
Mm,
people. I like reaching people where they are.
right.
I sort of like go after the quote unquote the underdogs, or the people that are not
Mm,
necessarily recognized, and just want to show people love and how special they are, and just show them how to tap into their gifts on a common level, not
mm,
trying to impress people or be like anybody else. Just be yourself and use the gifts that God has given you to use. Everybody have gifts. So
right.
when you recognize your gift and you start sharing some of those things that you think people are, when you move away from that, then
Mm.
that's when you can really, be yourself. And you need to be able to talk and express yourself.
What advice would you give to first time authors that may be thinking about writing their book or writing a book?
I would give the advice that I would give them is stick to what you have purposed in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Don't read too many books and try to get too many ideas. Just get what is relatable to you. Take
Mm-hmm.
your time. Don't be anxious and quick, because sometimes, like I said, you have that dry spell,
Okay.
and you may get the idea of a book this year, and
Uh-huh.
next year you may be still working on that book, but that's
Yeah.
okay, because God will give you different things, and then you'll get ideas and stuff like that. So you just have to take your time, and don't be discouraged.
Right. I
and
definitely,
stay away from the naysayers.
right. I've had some editors that I have worked with in the past that were really rushing and trying to get out of me something that was more commercially driven in terms of what my story was
Mm-hmm.
versus me writing my
Mm-hmm.
honest truth as if it wasn't more, my honest truth wasn't interesting enough. So I always tell authors or people that I come across, I've been working on this book forever, and it's taken many different forms because of who I was listening to in that
Mm-hmm.
moment. And even the engineer,
Mm-hmm.
not engineer, but the editor that I have today, it's more so a relationship. So I built a relationship with that person first before I even
Right.
decided to jump back into the project. And it's been an ordeal because it's more so your real life on pages for other people to own or other people to take and listen and read it. In
Mm-hmm.
terms of you choosing to be, before I even ask that, have you always been a writer, or was that something that you decided to do at this point in your life?
Well, I first started writing. Believe me, thinking about writing. I believe it was in '96,
Mm-hmm.
and the Lord was giving me. I started writing poetry because I write poetry, and I
Okay.
started writing poetry, and I was doing street ministry at the time. So what I was doing is framing my poetry, putting it in, different frames and things that people on the street could use to encourage them. And then I was, doing it for birthdays and things like that. And um, it was just so much. So like you said, you have so much, and so that's how I started. As a young girl or whatever, I didn't say, well, I'm going to be an author when I grow up,
Oh, okay.
But what inspired me, what it propelled me was because of all the things that I had experienced in my life,
Okay.
And being grateful to be able to stand and talk about those things and see the deliverance in my life and see how it can help someone else. So
Mm-hmm.
that was my inspiration. So it's been years that I had been actually writing poetry and writing different things, but to actually put it in a book,
Mm-hmm.
it just started a couple years ago in
Where do you think
96.
being an author will take you? Well, where do you see being an author taking you?
Well, I see me being an author. I see it taking me reaching people of diverse um, environments, personalities,
Mm-hmm.
in the business world, in the corporate world, in the just everyday settings. I just see it being an exposure to so many people and meeting the needs. That's my focus is
Mm-hmm.
helping people to be holistically healed and not necessarily being really deep or anything. Just basic, common, um, everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching people how to navigate through life with a simple word. Like him is a simple, simplistic book. It's not complicated. If every page in this book, you can find something to meditate on that will help you through a particular situation. So it's not something that you just read right through. This is a book that it shows you that everything that you need is in him in
Mm-hmm.
some way or another. And so I think it's just going to take me to a platform where people can see that they are important,
Can
not
you
based. I'm
Can you
sorry.
give us a excerpt on in the book,
Sure.
or give us a sample? While she's doing that, please take a couple moments, share this out if you're listening. Thank you to all the individuals that Robin, and I think your friend Robin is on the line. She is giving you all the love in this moment. She says the book is not much or too overwhelming. It shares in the liberty of trusting your process and whatever you are going through. And I love. I first started reading Iyanla Van Zandt in terms of a self-help inspirational book, and I love books of that caliber now because often we need guidance.
Hmm.
And these books don't necessarily tell you what to do, but it gives you kind of options and it gives you
Hmm.
kind of a roadmap to kind of steering yourself in terms of living life and such. But definitely continue to share, add your friends to this. Let people know about author Marcia Short and her new latest book.
Marcia Gathers.
I said it wrong.
It's Gathers.
Oh,
like
Gathers.
Like together we
Oh,
are.
okay, Gathers. Okay. Marcia Gathers. And can we find you on social media, or how can people contact you?
I am on Facebook. I am on Messenger. My email address is Marcia, Marcia, power 32 at gmail.com. And you can reach me through those venues, social media.
And how do people buy the book, purchase the book?
Well, they can purchase the book on PayPal. They can message me. They can, of course, get it at Amazon. But I'd rather you get it from me. But if you go to it's a link, and I can give you that link. It's http://py.p1/VUBS1, and I can send you that link. It's posted on my Facebook page as well.
Okay, so once you send me that, I'll post that on our social media, so people will have the information on how to purchase the book. In terms of what's next, so in this series of inspirational books, what do you have next, or is there something? Oh, wait a minute, but you had an excerpt first before we get to that point.
I'm going to share this excerpt. It's on page 3, and it's called Hope.
Okay,
and it talks about hope. It said, "What is hope? Or how do you define hope as it pertains to your specific challenges and what you face in life?" For some, hope is a word or state of being that does not exist. It is a vague fog of uncertainty. When one thinks of hope, it's looking toward the future, whether it means the next minute, hour, day, or year. It is the future, and it is a change in time that we will not see again.
So you still write in poetry in a poetic way in terms of inspiring people. I like when a message is real direct and to the point. What do you want people to get from this book?
Well, I want them to see the love of God. I want them to see that because there's things in here that pertains to anger, if you're feeling discouraged, angry, lack of love, if you're grieving. So that was just like a poetic type thing, and it also gives you an opportunity to think about it. It talks about forgiveness and faith and hope and love and finding peace. And there are scriptures in here, there are prayers in here, there's thankfulness and things to be grateful in here. It shows you how to encourage yourself, because you even mentioned yourself that you was worrying about, well, what will people think or whatever. So it's how do you encourage yourself in here. So it's not just, it's full of poetry. It's just prayers, hope. It's just a lot of, but it's a short book. It's a common book. It doesn't have a lot of big words in it. So it's for everybody. Everybody can relate to this.
How do you, most now we're seeing a space where authors are becoming workshop facilitators in terms of how they present their book, especially when you're dealing with self-help authors or inspirational authors rather. How do you want this book to be workshopped, or how do you see it being workshopped?
Well, I definitely going to do a workshop, because I've done workshops on all of my books, and I continue to do that. A workshop, a Bible study, a ministry, just a conversation piece. So definitely it will be used as a workshop. It will be used as in my conferences. If this COVID wasn't going on right now, and I know I would have had a conference on this, pertaining to this, and in the conference it'll just be a lot of different things in it. So it will be going that route.
Well, let me know if you're looking to do something virtually like that. I can
I
definitely
definitely
help
will.
you.
I am looking to do something
Hmm.
virtually like that, and real soon, but not anxious for anything, just taking my time and,
Hmm.
seeing, what's the best route to do it. Um,
And it's so, and I'm interested right now, during this pandemic, because I think we're moving into month number 9 now,
mhm.
or I think we're already in month number 9. It's time is just every day
Yes.
right now. But in terms of everything that's been going on between the election and pandemic and being in your home more, how has your writing been in this process?
Oh, it has really been a good process for me because
Hmm.
I was able to take the time and read and I'm doing meditations. My husband and I are doing meditations out this book, and it has
Okay.
really been a great help to us, to keep us focused, and even with my family members and everything. This time, I believe this book, Him, is for such a time as this, because
Mm.
there's so many people that are hurting. We're going through life just running, and like say like we're on a highway, just driving all fast, all out of whack and everything. And I believe that God wants to slow us down and put us on cruise control so we can focus on Him and listen to what He wants us to do. That not just for Christians, but for everybody, to just be slowed down a little bit and understand and use wisdom and
Mm.
watch, listen, wait, and learn from the things that's going on. We got to listen very carefully, and we got to see from a natural and a spiritual sense. We just have to wait and see what is the next step, and then use wisdom to do that. So I think that this book is for such a time as this, because it says healing,
Mm.
inspirational message for daily living. Daily, I think daily, everybody needs to be healed and encouraged from something every day, no matter
Yeah.
how small it is. We need that.
It's definitely somewhat of a writing prompt for how to live your life.
Right.
And it really allows us, affirmations are powerful snippets of wisdom that can kind of get you through a moment and kind
Yeah.
of focus you on just getting through this.
And
'Cause
that's what this is,
right.
snippets.
Because in our normal life we were all over the place and always on the go, but right now for me, I've taken a moment. Most of my work, well, all my work really, teaching, podcast, all that is from home right now, so I'm getting an opportunity to be with myself and not
Hmm.
necessarily have to necessarily go outside and interact, or the day-to-day life. And as an artist, most of my stuff is paused anyway, but it's definitely been necessary to kind of find moments to meditate, and
Right.
kind of put yourself on a schedule to meditate. So your book will probably be a great asset to people who's
Well,
looking for
thank you.
that routine again. In
Yeah,
terms of
that's what I'm looking for. I'm hoping that people will get into being able to meditate and really come to know themselves,
mm-hmm,
and really have that time to rest. Because we, like you said, and I said, we're so busy, we don't even have to sit down. We can't even sit down. Some of us, and I'm using the term lightly, we
mm-hmm,
can't even sit down for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes without doing something. We sit down, we jump back up. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that.
mm-hmm,
I got to go this place. So now, like I said, I think we're in a waiting. And while we're waiting, we're it's not just waiting and just doing nothing, but we're learning new things.
mm-hmm.
I've learned some things in this pandemic time, just settling down and listening to the quiet. We got to quiet our minds,
Mm,
and when we quiet our minds, and there's another section in here about serenity as well, but when we quiet our minds, then we'll be able to be released from some of the stresses that we face, because sometimes people are stressed out and don't even know that they're stressed.
yeah,
They think stress is okay. I gotta take some pills. I gotta do but you can have that
they
inner
gotta fix
turmoil.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
but sometimes that quiet, we often feel like that quiet is deafening. Some people look at it as deafening, and we don't know what to do with quiet. I know even for me, I'm an introvert by nature, but this span of time has seemed like, you know, it seems so loud. Even in the silence, it seems so loud because oftentimes spent alone or by yourself, we often are looking for something to do. And that was me as an artist. I was always trying to find a new project, trying to figure out, what to talk about or what guests. I was trying to fill up the void that was missing from the everyday normal life that we once had. And it really has been a struggle to just be still. Just be still and just focus on that moment. How has your book, or how can your book help us with that stillness and being patient within the stillness?
Okay, as I was saying earlier, this book, it has different scriptures in it, and it
Okay.
teaches you how to meditate on those scriptures and apply it to your life,
Okay.
apply it to your situation. Because, sometimes, some people read the Bible and some people don't, whatever. But when we're reading the Bible, reading scripture, it's not for us just to just read it. We need to learn how to apply what we learn. And it's also things that, other things in here that are, not just the word of God, but learning how to apply things and be able to get solutions. And I talked about that earlier. What is the solution? How do I do this? How do I learn how to sit down and be quiet and meditate and focus? And how do I move from this place to the next place? How do I transition? See, this is a time for us to learn how to transition from a lot of things, the things that we used to do. And even in our personal homes, a lot of times when, before we didn't spend a lot of time. Some people weren't having that quality time with their family members, husband and wife or whatever, because you go to work. When you come home, you have about 2 hours or so, and then you getting ready for the next day. But now you got all this time, and so people are having now to learn how to live in their homes with their relatives, their family and stuff. So this is, like I said, we're learning from this, and it's a process, and we're being processed through. And I believe that him is the process. It tells you how to go through the process from every aspect of what you may be facing with today.
And that was throughout this whole, I've been doing my show throughout the whole pandemic. And that's been something that I've said repeatedly. I had to make my home.
Yes.
And part of that process was me just being still and deciding, one, what did I want to do?
Right.
How was I going to take this time that I have in this moment? And a lot of that can sometimes be from a place of not understanding or not knowing really what it is that you have in this moment. So that meditation time is very significant and it's very important, because you can jump out there and do something totally outside of yourself. If I didn't take the time to just be still, I could have been many of those people who have transitioned on, or who may be on a ventilator right now, or somebody who's sick at home. Living by myself, it really was important for me to just be still. And I heard the voice say, be still. I heard, the lessons in being still, but I had never applied it to my everyday life as much as I've applied it now. And this would be the craziest time to just be still, we would think, but it's the most important time so you don't make a rash decision. You're not trying to be outside like a lot of people are. You're not trying to, just be with people when this was your moment to kind of reset and repurpose and reorganize your life and your mindset, the way you think, the way you feel, your interactions with people, and I'm just wondering what it was like to be in a house full of people in this moment. And not taking that time to just be still.
And see, that term be still, and the being still is not that you're not doing anything. You're being still, but you're learning. You're learning how to do different things, and you're having quality time. So
listening.
your mind is being refreshed, and
Mm-hmm.
you're having time to do some of the things that you thought you couldn't do,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just learning how to do different things,
Yeah.
and that's the waiting, that's the being still, learning how to do different things, and to
Mm.
that'll work for you at this point. So
That's so powerful. So I thank you for being an author who did not wasn't fearful of writing that style of truth, and
mhm,
reaching out to actually help somebody get through these moments, because we're living in a space right now where we used to live in a world where uh, art imitated life. And
right.
now life is imitating art
Yeah,
in terms of you watching TV shows that are reflecting the moments that we're in right now versus, us living a life and TV being created from that. But
mhm,
now the TV shows are coming as a precursor to what's about to happen. And
right.
we're not catching a message, anyway. And I think God and our higher beings are trying to tell us, pay attention.
Yes,
Like, I'm trying to
yes.
give you insight on what's coming up and how to prepare yourself. And many of us are missing it because we too busy trying to be busybodies and do something with ourselves.
And I think, like I said, I think God has just put everybody on the same plane. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Everybody are
Hmm.
looking for answers, and it's like you have to listen. You have to trust in someone that's higher than man, because it's just like you gotta listen, you gotta learn, you gotta wait, and
Yes.
we
Yes.
like we were just all over the place. So now is the time of resting our minds and learning what
Mm,
to do, and just again applying what we learn. We need solid foundations,
mm.
we need solid foundations to build on, because we've been trying to build on other stuff, and you see it's all crumbling now.
Yeah, I've been
It's
saying that for throughout this. This
Yes.
is, and we've been in a season of churches and spirituality and religion being exposed
Hmm.
for the fleshly foundation that
Yeah.
it's been sitting on. And I
Hmm.
think right now it further forced the church to be as authentic as possible,
Hmm.
because you have many pastors trying to get people back into the building of a church versus using the platform right here to expand and tell the
Exactly.
message and give the message. And it really has been important to me to only tap into content. And I've been able to, like, on Sundays, go from this service to this service from the
Right.
comfort of my bed. And it's not about the comfort or the convenience, but you're able to hear the message directly.
Exactly. And everybody can hear the message, and it's not a forceful thing.
Right.
So that's that's
Mm-hmm.
that's what that's the beauty of it, because people have to realize that the church is not necessarily a building, it's in
Mm-hmm.
you.
Right.
And if everybody is on the same wavelength, when you home, you don't have to worry about, oh, how do I look, or can I
Mm-hmm.
wear this, or can I wear that, and this and that
Yeah.
and other. You have time to come to the message when you want to.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? When you
Yeah.
want to come to the message, you have a chance. So it's like I said, it's a way of, whether you a people person or a person that's not, then you have the opportunity to listen and move at the pace
Mm-hmm.
that you want to move at.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a forceful thing. So I think
Right.
that, um like I said, God is, for such a time as this, all of us
Yes.
can learn. And I see, and I hope we're not getting off of the
No, this
subject
is
here.
this is about you and the message that you
Okay.
have.
And
So
I
there's no
see
one way.
now that people, in spite of, some of the, the evil or violence or whatever, I see that there's a lot more unity,
Mm,
now. I mean, like, anybody can get food now, just that simple. I mean, before, people were really hungry and starving for food, and couldn't, you got to fill out all these forms and
yep.
things like that. Now
Mm-hmm.
you can just go about any place, you're getting good food. And that's why I say a holistic approach for healing. People are being built up spiritually, physically. They're being
Mm.
shown how to eat nutritious meals. They're being shown how to communicate with one another,
Mm.
and all of these things are taking place. And so it's we're learning some things. We're learning how
Yeah.
to be patient. We're learning how to go in different environments, and it's a lot that we're learning from this. And like I said, we all need healing, a holistic approach, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what like this book is offering, little snippets on how to heal holistically.
It's amazing, and I can't wait to delve into it, um, and just be expecting a message, because I like to talk to the author once I've gotten to finish the book too, because I always have questions. But
Hmm.
I think we're in a space where this type of literature, this type of messaging is necessary, because we're being bombarded with so many different options right now.
Right.
We need a tuned eye and a tuned ear and a tuned heart, and spirit, to be able to discern where shall I go, and what should I do, and what's
Hmm.
next, and who do I listen to, and really, at the end of the day, how are we treating each other? That's the
Exactly.
basis of every religion in the world. How do
Hmm.
we treat each other? And
It's
right
that love
now,
factor.
yeah, we're seeing how freely love can be giving without boundaries.
Right.
And you
Hmm.
saying, everybody now has these setups where they're giving away boxes of food on a weekly basis.
Hmm.
People aren't going to be hungry. We should never go to a space again where people are hungry.
Exactly.
And, even the
Exactly.
people who are now on the streets, we should not have that. When we have the capacity to give like this, where did you find all that food at for this?
It's always been there, and that's what I'm saying. It's always been there, and
Mhm.
everybody is being put on an even plane now.
Yes, yes,
Those
yes,
persons who had an abundance of stuff, what can they do with it now but give it away?
yes,
you know,
yes,
but give
yes.
it away. And I'm just want to say this: I'm not going to go into a Bible study on you,
Go.
but in the in
I'm
the
not.
in the
I
book
was
of
raised right.
Acts,
Do it.
they talked about when all the people in the book of Acts, they brought all of their stuff into the church, if you would, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody were able to pick and get what they needed.
Mm-hmm.
On
Mm-hmm.
it, and see, that's what's happening now. The needs are being met
Yeah.
without people scrutinizing or judging or whatever.
Yes.
Everybody
Mm-hmm.
needs are being met. So if
Yeah.
you really take a good look at what's happening, it's all you know
Mm-hmm.
it's being, some good things are being done. And like I said, it's all in him. It's in
Mm-hmm.
him. And I thank God for the title of this book, him, because we
Mm-hmm.
need to focus on him and what he's telling us to do. And
Yes.
those, and we need to show others the love that he wants us to have, because without love we're not going to make it.
I've been hearing that message of just the abundance and
Hmm.
the joyful, the joy in loving and giving love, and
Yeah.
and being in a moment where we got to clear these storehouses. We got
Hmm.
to clear these storehouses that we've been building up in our personal lives, where we're hoarding blessings and we're hoarding
Hmm.
even just material things. And
Right.
what can you do with them right now? Yeah, it's the perfect time to learn how to save your money and to learn how to spend your money. It's the perfect time to learn how to eat well and
Hmm.
be your best self. But it's also the time to see, what can I do for my neighbor? What can I do for my family, my friends?
Right.
What can I be a blessing in? And it is not always money and stuff. Sometimes it's just
Exactly.
a listening ear or a shoulder.
Exactly.
But we're all, and I kind of, it's been a double-sided thing, where the positive side is, well, the negative side has been, we're not paying attention to how we're gathering, and we're
Hmm.
being
Yeah.
unsafe in how we're gathering. But on the other side, it has forced us to live in a season. My friend has posted it earlier today. She did a post, shout out to Tanelia, where she said, this is not the season to get everything you want. It's the season to understand and appreciate what we have. And I think that's what this season has given to us, a moment to appreciate our family, because we are seeing people gather who would have never in a million years gathered prior to this.
And that's where that love piece comes in at. See, for so long, people have forgotten how to love. And so we need to be taught again how to love, and love from the inside. And like, it's not always money, material, but just giving a listening ear and showing compassion and people. And I see that that's what's happening, what needs to happen. It is happening, but it's going to be happening even more. And having that foundation of love and understanding how to forgive and to those are the things that will teach you how to live in peace or walk in peace and get to the next level and get to the things that, you know, God wants us to do. And if we just learn how to love and understand what love is and act on it, then I think we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right.
I'm really excited for you in this book, because it sounds like you've lived this and you've seen the full vision of the possibility in it and where it's going. So I always love to talk to authors who had a plan. And it's okay if it just came from you and you didn't think about it and it was a gift given and you acted on it. But I love to see an author that has prepared themselves for what's to come, because often people write these types of books and they don't really know the significance of it. And before they can give anything to this, they're already on to the next message.
Right.
Instead of really honing in on this, you know, the parts of this that are really for people to get. And that comes with writing within your lane. And you're not just writing about something that's interesting or popular.
Or writing for just financial gain. See,
I've seen a lot of that.
See, you gotta, this is just my saying, you gotta understand that everything is not about money, because we do need money to live. Don't get me wrong. But my feelings or my philosophy is this: if I have this book and I know, and I'm listening to you and I'm talking to you and I'm feeling you, I'm seeing your heart. I'm seeing your heart. I'm hearing your heart. And so I have this book and I know that this book can help you. It can heal you. It can get you at least to another step. Then I'm not going to hone in on the fact that, okay, you got to pay me for this book. You know, if I believe a word from this book can change your life, then I'm not going to let a person suffer, you know, for $1.
Now, I'm going to speak for Miss Marcia. I'm going to say to you, buy her book, plant a seed and invest in her.
I want you to plant a seed. I'm not saying that I'm giving away free books, but I'm just saying the focus, you have to have balance in your focus. I want you all to get this book. Because it will be a blessing to you and it will help you to grow and also to help others that are in your circle to see the growth in you. So no, I'm not trying to talk myself out of a sale. Okay.
Out of a blessing. We're gonna call it a blessing.
A blessing. Yes, that's the way. I'm not trying to talk myself out of a blessing, because my blessing is your blessing. When you bless somebody else, you be blessed.
And we're in a season for giving creators their just due.
Yeah,
and I'm a person who totally believes it, because I'm a creator and I know what it feels like to pour your heart into a project or to an object or to your craft and not feel it being received and not getting a receipt or receiving back from it. But I love conversations like this, and thankfully, and I'm so grateful for Miss Johnson for always sending me authors that are about the business of their work.
And I want to give a shout out to Pat because she is just such a blessing. She has blessed so many people. She's so sweet. She's so humble, and she has such a giving spirit. She connects a lot of people, and I've often told her that I will always be in her circle. I will always be able. I will always help her in any way that I can because I've seen the realness in her. So I just want to give a shout out to her. Thank her so much for even connecting me. And I want to say to you that you have been such a comfortable person to speak to. I feel like I've known you. And
thank you.
I thank you for your platform because as I said, I'm just common folk. And being real.
That's all he dealt with was common folk. He didn't deal with the high and lofty.
So I thank you so much for the opportunity, and I'm just looking forward to connecting with you even further.
Well, that's what this platform is. It's definitely not just the radio portion of it, but just figuring out how I can further help individuals beyond just selling a book or just pushing a project. But sometimes I've allowed this platform to take me where God saw fit.
Right.
When I started this a number of years ago, that was the promise that I made to myself that I wasn't gonna make it so about popularity or the hottest person, but great content and great individuals and great conversation that really does more than just the status quo, especially of us being artists. We gotta work on our engagement and how we take so many resources from our communities in terms of our talents and people mentoring us, and we rarely put anything back.
Right.
But as an artist, I really want us to begin to put things back and plant seeds, so other people can harvest and pick from that harvest as well. And it's really important for us artists to maintain our spiritual connections, our community connections, and our self-connection in terms of us moving forward, because then we're doing this for nothing.
Right.
So it's easy to make a couple dollars. It's nothing for you to send that book out to a couple people and get paid from it. But the work that you do, and that's evangelism.
Yeah, definitely.
That's evangelism in and of itself. So the work that you're doing ministry-wise will definitely take you much further than just a book sale could. You can eat from a book sale, but the long ongoing legacy of your work lives on. So I'm really excited. I'm happy for you, and anything that I can do to help you, that's within my power, of course. I'll definitely help you and continue to stay in contact and let us know again where we can find the book, how we can purchase the book, and where we can find you at on social media.
Okay, I'm on Facebook under Marcia Gathers, and I'm on Messenger, Marcia Gathers. There's a link on, and I will repost the link on my page. But HTT, I'm on PayPal.
Okay.
And then HTTP : /PY.PL/BUBS1. So I will repost that, and of course my email is Marcia MARCIA Powers POWER32 @gmail.com.
Okay. And I'll she's gonna send me that information, and I'm gonna post it just in case anybody missed it. And again, the last question that I normally ask to people as we transition out of the conversation is, what advice would you give to your 17-year-old self, and what question would you ask to your 100-year-old self?
To my what? 70-year-old?
100-year-old self.
I would say my advice would be keep loving and keep learning, because I think that you can learn from anybody at any age. Always remember there's still work that you can do. You can still help someone. Wisdom is key. That's what I would say at my 100-year-old self.
And what advice would you give to your 17-year-old self?
17-year-old self, just try to be yourself, stand on your convictions, learn from every situation that you're faced with. Don't be a crowd pleaser. Believe in yourself and know that there are people out there that love you, and the things that they can tell you will benefit you in the long run.
Okay.
Don't be so easy to count people off like they don't know anything because they old.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
I'm a grandma and a great grandma boy, so I know the power in listening to our elders and having that patience, and that's where I was taught to be still. But that was definitely perfect. No perfect answers, but that was perfect for me. Again, I thank you for joining us. Thank you again, Miss Johnson. She's actually in the subject
Hey, Miss
box.
Pat, I love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Tonia. Everybody that's been listening in. Again, you can find this on YouTube as well as Facebook on the Big Exposed Radio page, as well as the Artist Exchange Radio Show page on Facebook. I shared it to our Instagram, our Facebook, and as well as the YouTube. Go to YouTube, like, share, and subscribe to the Big Exposed page. So we're gonna say we have a couple more minutes in the show, but I'm gonna say my goodbyes to Miss Marcia. And again, send me a message and send me the information, and I'll definitely stay in touch, and I'll post the information as well on how to purchase the book.
Okay, and again, I want to say thank you so much. It has been a pleasure, and I look forward to speaking and talking with you and connecting with you further. Keep doing what you're doing. You are doing a great work, and keep being yourself and hang in there with your book. Don't be discouraged.
Yeah, everybody gonna see it. I'm gonna message you. I'm gonna tag you with it because this has been a long process.
Okay. All righty.
See you later.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
So again, this has been the Artist Exchange. I have a couple more minutes that I wanted to go over some things. Again, the show comes on every Monday and Friday at 5 p.m. on Big Exposed Radio, only on BigExposedRadio.com. If you are looking for a space to start your show, get a show, if you have an idea, if you don't have an idea, come on to us, info@BigExposedRadio.com to start your show. Sponsor for the day, Vashta Blue Jewelry. Come on through every Saturday. Vashta Blue Jewelry will be doing a pop-up at 36 West 25th Street. So definitely come on out. Some new jewelry every week. I've been working on tons of new stuff. I've been hitting up the Amazon, getting new supplies. So come on out. It's always something for everybody. We had our first one this Saturday and it went very well. Socially distanced. So it's in an outside area, so it's definitely responsible in that way. Please wear your masks because I had to turn away a couple people because they didn't have on their masks. But I want you to come on out, Vashta Blue Jewelry at VashtaBlueJewelry.com if you want to shop online if you're not in the Baltimore area. Again, we have a number of great shows on the station. Definitely stay tuned, stay locked in, and definitely keep on sharing, keep on liking, keep on exposing people to what the Artist Exchange is and what Big Exposed Radio is. Again, I have 2 new shows that I'm a part of. I'm doing a morning show out of Atlanta called We Are You Radio, and it's delivering news, hot topic, and questions galore, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So if you're on the move in the morning, tune into We Are You Radio. You can find it in your app store, and you'll be hearing myself, Miss Jana, George, and Nova on the We Are You Morning Cruise show on We Are You Radio, as well as I started a new podcast called Binge-worthy Podcast with myself and George Oliver Button, and we'll be doing we actually are 2 shows in already. A new show will be released this Tuesday and every Tuesday for the first season. We'll go until Christmas for the first season, and then we'll be right back in February with the second season. But we've already had some interesting conversation. We picked various movies and televisions from all over. We expose a lot of hidden gems that are on these streaming networks and things that we've watched independently, and we have a conversation based on the cultural, the historical, and the social value of those shows. And you can find that show on Facebook as well as YouTube. So Facebook, you can go to Binge-worthy Podcast. On Instagram, you can go to Binge-worthy Podcast. And it's on YouTube, you go to the Artist Exchange YouTube page, and you can find that show there as well. And I'm all about building new content. So if you're looking to start a show and you're kind of in the beginning phases of it, hit me up at the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com, and we can get you a slot here on Big Exposed Radio. And finding some awesome ways to kind of get your voice out there and get your voice heard. And if you're looking for some advertising opportunities, I have them. So come and advertise with us. Hit me up at the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com. What that say? I didn't hear it.
I don't know what that
wonderful.
was. Oh, she said, okay.
Oh, she's still there.
Yes. See, I don't know what that was.
I said, what was going on? I never heard that. But I'm really just being really excited on all the things that are coming up for the Artist Exchange. I've been working on a lot of projects and really utilizing this time to just rebuild and reorganize myself as an artist, as a brand, as a radio personality, as a teacher. And I'm sending some love out there to the parents out there who are struggling through this process. Please hold on, ask for help when you need it. I know it's a lot to be all full time with your child, both in school and at home, and they're all combined right now, but just stay encouraged. There are plenty of groups out there on Facebook that you can join for parents that are feeling overworked and very underappreciated in this moment. But just understand, teachers are there for you, but we're limited because we often have multiple students that we have to pay attention to at the same time. But ask for help if you need it. From a family member, from a friend, a neighbor, another parent. Maybe y'all switch over and your children go over there for a couple of days and then they come back to your house for a couple of days. But, be creative, ask for help, reach outside of yourself if you need the help. I know I've been talking to a lot of parents lately and they are over this. We are over this as teachers. So I definitely know you're over it, but students, stay encouraged. I have, 4 nieces who are students, so I understand the struggle. But, they're getting through it, but it's possible. So without further ado, this has been the Artist Exchange Radio Show every Monday and Friday at 5 p.m. only on BigExposedRadio.com. All you got to do is subscribe and you'll get the bell every time. You'll get a notification every time the show comes on. So thank you again. Peace out, everybody. Be safe. All that good jazz. Thank you, Miss Patricia Johnson. Send me some more. I want to talk to some more authors. I haven't been reading any good books lately. So peace out. Bye-bye.